What's going on YouTube and y'all squad? This is your boy Yakatees. This is your review for Real Housewives of Atlanta Season 14, Reunion Part 2. Going to be honest, this one really left me feel like I felt very underwhelmed by Part 2. I'm not going to lie. I felt like Part 1 gave me more. Some people might feel differently, but yeah. So I'm going to just go ahead and get through this. So we pick up with Marlo and her tears. Kenya says, her words don't matter. It's her actions. You know, her words don't match her actions. So she'll say one thing but completely do a whole nother thing, right? Uh, then they bring up Marlo's break in and shows the tweet that Kenya put up, that she tweeted saying that it was fake. And Kenya's whole thing is, when something like this happens, they tend to, kind of get in a group, they have a group text or whatever, but they kind of like get in, talk to each other, see what's going on, and even to a certain degree compare notes. Because I mean, if it's happening, to this person, that person, this person, the more information everybody has, the better they can arm themselves. But Marlo did say the police told her not to say anything, so that's why she didn't say. Like, she gave what she could, but she couldn't go into detail. So there's that. Marlo sending her kids away comes up. Andy, in essence, is standing up for Marlo. And, because you can tell when Andy likes somebody. And I think the story, her story, I don't want to say the story, her story she gave on part one really moved him. And you do know that Andy is a parent. So, he was just like, I felt like, you know, him saying that he understands her sending them away because he feel like maybe she did it because of any possible impulses or responses, reactions that could have came, literally throwing her a lifeline to try to help her clean that thing up. And Marlo said that she just needs to choose her words better because that was more of a reset for her, which I'm like, you probably still could have chose better words to explain the situation, but okay. Um, Let me see. Um, yeah, say that. So Andy brings up her doing to them what was done to her, just like now having more of your backstory. It seems like you pretty much did to them what was done to you, and I'm being a parent, right now, like I'm pretty sure that that's the last thing that you would want to do. Um, she lets us know that she hasn't heard from her sister, and Kenya isn't moved by any of what Marlo is giving, which I appreciate that. Where it's just like, because we even see in part three that Marlo and Candy semi reconcile, if you will. Kenya just like, hell no, I don't believe it. I ain't here for it. Andy asked her, should we move on? She was like, yes, we should. I'm like, ooh, oh. But see, that also lets I guess, position wise, the position that, Kenya has on the show. So now they talk about receipts and whatnot. And then Andy mentions that, Candy, when she said, I'm worldwide, how she already has merch for that, which is the smart thing to do. I don't know if Kenya did it, but Kenya better have I Am the Moment on mugs and t-shirts and everything else. But you have to capitalize on that, because if you don't, anybody can go ahead and do it and, market it as if it's yours and, make money off of it. But again, Candy know what she doing. Candy know what she doing. Um, then we have Kenya the Moment More, her package. Candy felt that Kenya's change came about because, they said she was very light and airy this season. It came because, she was just coming off of Dancing with the Stars, and that high of that, Kenya says that, she grew up loving dance, she would dance for her grandmother and whatnot. Her grandmother, pretty much encouraged her in that aspect. So when she was dancing on Dancing for the Stars, it was like she was dancing for her grandmother almost as in tribute for that, which is understandable. Now, I do believe one or two things, though, if I can be honest. Either A, this change came because both Nene and, I'm sorry, not Nene. Well, actually, Nene, Portia, and Phaedra ain't on the show, so hey, there's that more or less Portia rather than anybody. But I also feel that maybe she just need to take a break because everybody's like, oh, Kenya changed. But if you talk to people and even people on the show, they say Kenya is completely different outside of the show than she is on the show. Like she knows what role she has, and she plays it sometimes a little bit too well, i.e., what she did to Kim Fields. But nevertheless, um, Kenya says, oh, nope, I already said that. She is still not divorced. Sonya apologizes for the couples trip comment because she said that when she explained it to both Marlo and Sheree, she pretty much said you can bring a +1, but she didn't articulate that when she was talking to Kenya, and she kept saying couple trip, so she could understand the confusion there. Kenya clarifies about the whole I fit thing and her being upset about missing it. She was just like, I had already missed one event, so I was trying to show up for Sonya because I didn't want her to feel as if I, was being rude or whatever. So that's why I really wanted to go. And, they all agree that it was truly a misunderstanding. Martell calls. Now, we don't see him on the FaceTime call, but yeah, he calls, and it was a whole thing about that. They actually said the man's name this time. Sonya so Sonya's assessment of Kenya using her divorce and her child as a cop out comes up, and Sonya's whole thing is it appeared that was a pattern, and Kenya's whole thing is she felt hurt by that because you know she like those were genuine moments for her, and she also said that she has shared a lot with Sonya that she hasn't shared with the other women, and the fact that she would even go there, it hurt her. I mean, I still think she was using that scapegoat as a deflection too. But okay, whatever you say, Miss Kenya. Let me see. Say that. All right. Okay, y'all might get a decent review. We gonna see. So Ross defending his wife comes up, and Kenya says she understands. So pretty much in the moment, she felt the way that she felt, and I guess probably watching it back, it's just like she can understand, what that was. But Sonya, defends, her husband, and was even asked, how would you feel if Ty or Ralph said that to you? But rather than answer that question, and a lot of the women weren't answering the questions head on, they were kind of talking around, and she pretty much was like, Ross wasn't speaking directly to any one person, whatever. So Brooklyn's B-Day party comes up. Kenya is, hit like, why would you sit here and have such a shady game at this child's birthday party? Candy is asked about Sheree's comment about her, slopping on a knob, here and there, every which where. And Sheree doesn't feel that Candy should be offended because she likes sex, and Candy laughs it off, but I feel like that's very loaded. And stuff like that, you need to be very weary about saying. That's like saying, oh, because you're a stripper and you dance provocatively, take your clothes off, and you gyrate on people, that if somebody was to grape you, that you should be okay with that since this is what you already do. Like it, even though I know that's very extreme, but it's along those lines, and I didn't feel that was right and appropriate, but Candy laughed it off. So if she ain't mad, I'm not mad. Sonya's package comes up. Sonya says her reasoning for changing her stance on getting pregnant is because because of Ross's willingness to not only listen to her but consider her. I thought it was because he wasn't active, y'all first go around, and you wanted to make sure that if you had this child, that he would play a more active role. But again, hey, whatever. You like it, I love it. Drew was asked about her comments about Sonya giving her husband a child because it seems very archaic and all this other stuff. And she didn't say it, but she pretty much was coming from almost like a Christian standpoint of, hey, you're the only one that can bear a child, so you should, and this whole thing, whatever. I'm not really getting too invested into that because, again, the way that storyline came and gone, I'm not investing too much. So we get Marlo versus Kenya. Marlo says Kenya uses people and then she throws them away. Honestly, I feel that is more Marlo than Kenya, but I will say Kenya did use Marlo when Marlo fell out with Nene and used that to her advantage. Now, y'all can correct me if I'm wrong, but that's what I saw when they initially clicked up. But Neither here nor there. So Kenya calls her Latoya Hutchinson, but Marlo is her real name. Well, that's what's on her birth certificate. Now, could that be an alias or whatever? I don't know, but yeah, Kenya, baby, you was reaching. Marlo talks about her arrest and whatnot because she went to jail, not prison, two different things, and pretty much explained that. And she in a roundabout way talked about the slashing of a girl's face, but she didn't go into explicit detail. Just said she got into it with somebody at the club. Okay, so then we end with Sheree versus Drew, or we end this part. I'm pretty sure is going to resume next week for the conclusion. Sheree is asked if Anthony never worked for her, why is he labeled as a sister in her phone? She just says she gives everybody labels to remember them in her phone. I think that's a lie. Um, Drew is asked if she pays her assistants. Since she has so many, Sheree was like, well, you didn't pay Anthony. Now, Drew says she did, but she did something that I didn't like, and I'm assuming because of conversations she might have had with Anthony, after certain things had been said about her husband, that she don't care, but Anthony wasn't there, and up until this point, we didn't hear from Anthony, but she was like, well, we paid off his car so it wouldn't get repoed, so we treat him very well, or treated him very well, and I'm just like, I felt a way about her saying that in that moment, but based off of what we're about to hear, I mean, I'm kind of like, but it's just like, did you really have to say all of that? So Drew is asked if she believed Anthony calling Ralph gay. So Drew plays a recording, so I'm assuming I guess it might have been a phone call conversation or maybe face to face, but Ralph and Anthony were talking, and pretty much Anthony, pretty much denies the claims in this conversation. Sheree calls Anthony. He's on FaceTime. He says he's never been her assistant. Does what about Sheree not paying? You don't owe me anything. And then he says he doesn't recall calling Ralph gay. Now, we don't have footage of him saying this, so it is what it is. But then he said, I don't believe that he is, but I believe that Drew pretty much is using this for a storyline. Drew feel like, oh, he's flipping the script right now. And that was pretty much the episode. Yeah. I'm surprised I gave y'all 12 minutes. But that's it. That's all I got. Please check us out tomorrow for the Whether You Like It or Not panel. It is going to be on Josiah World's TV channel. Catch us over there for our shenanigans. Hopefully we can give y'all something with part 2 of this. We got the Bell Collector too, praise the Lord. But hopefully we can give y'all a little something. So with that being said, please rate, comment, subscribe, and share. You all have a blessed and prosperous, week. All right, let's go ahead. Let's get it. We can make it till Friday for those of us who work Monday through Friday. Now, if you work Saturday and Sunday, I don't know what to tell you. But yeah, that's all I got, y'all. I'll holler at y'all later. Peace.